You are born. No scented candles here, no smiling midwife. It's winter. The icy air slices into your undeveloped lungs. You let out your first cry, a fragile sound in the cold. Your mother, exhausted and hungry, barely holds you. Your father, a peasant with calloused hands, looks with love. But a silent desperation fills his eyes. You're another mouth, another pair of hands that, if you survive, will work tirelessly. The air smells of damp straw, wood smoke, and fear. Yes, fear is your cradle perfume in this desolate land. Outside your log hut, the world is falling apart. And you, my dear viewer, just landed headfirst into this infernal cauldron. Your childhood isn't a bed of roses, it's a snowfield. Hungry wolves lurk, a constant, chilling presence. Infant mortality rates are terrifyingly high, almost expected. People don't celebrate your birth. They wait to see if you live. Surviving your first winter is already a major triumph. You learn early that hunger is a constant companion. Comfort is a luxury only the absolute elite can dream of. Reaching 5 years old makes you a true victor. Your toys are simple: sticks, stones, maybe a rag doll. If your mother found a scrap of cloth, you were lucky. Congratulations! If you were born 1565, 1572, you won the paranoia lottery. Suddenly, the air grew thick with unspoken terror. Even as a small child, you feel the adults' palpable fear. They whisper about the Oprichniki, Ivan's loyal black dogs. Men in black robes on black horses, a severed dog's head. A broom hung from their saddles to sweep away treason. You watch as entire villages are burned to the ground. Families, rich or poor, are dragged away, never seen again. Novgorod suffered a bloodbath, a brutal cleansing. Your greatest fear? Black hooves stopping at your very hut. While domestic terror haunts you, Russia is in endless war. The Livonian War, a fight for access to the Baltic Sea. Your father, your older brother, could be conscripted any time, sent to fight in a distant conflict no one truly understands, except that it drains the land of men and precious resources. You see wounded soldiers returning, or more often not returning. Taxes continuously rise, crushing your family's meager existence. Every grain you cultivate is a drop in the empire's bucket. An empire hungry for war, constantly demanding more from you. The very idea of peace, it's a cruel, cynical joke. Ah, freedom, a beautiful word, but one that doesn't apply. You were born a serf, tied inextricably to the land. Your family belongs to this soil, and the soil to a lord. You cannot leave. You cannot marry without explicit permission. You cannot dream of a different life, a different fate. Your destiny is to toil from dawn till dusk in your lord's fields. What little remains barely feeds your struggling family. You are a tool, a mere possession, an economic commodity. Your value is measured by your capacity to endure and produce. Any glimmer of a better life is quickly crushed by brutal reality. Just when you thought things couldn't possibly get worse, famine descends, not mild hunger, but biblical apocalyptic starvation. Years of failed harvests, devastating blights, brutal winters. The precious bread disappears entirely from your meager table. You resort to eating roots, tree bark, even common grass. You watch neighbors wither away, their bodies skeletal. Reports tell of terrible acts, people resorting to the unimaginable. All just to survive another agonizing, soul-crushing day. You pray for a quick, merciful death for your loved ones? Watching your family suffer is a torture even Ivan couldn't devise. Even if war and famine spare you, disease will surely visit. Hygiene is a cruel joke, a concept utterly unknown here. Medicine is blind faith, the apothecary, a mystic herbalist. Dysentery, smallpox, typhus, the Black Death are constant companions. A simple headache could mean a week of burning fever, and perhaps an inevitable agonizing end to your short life. There are no hospitals, no vaccines, no real remedies. Your best defense is your own frail constitution and sheer luck. Or perhaps, just maybe, a genuine divine miracle. Every sniffle is a harbinger of potential doom. With Ivan's death, and then his son Fyodor's, chaos reigns. The Rurik dynasty ends, plunging Russia into utter darkness. Who is the true Tsar now? An ambitious boyar? An impostor claiming to be Ivan's lost son, Dmitri? Multiple false Dimitris emerge, each with their own army. each promising salvation, each delivering only more chaos. Bands of mercenaries, robbers, and desperate peasants roam. They transform the once treacherous roads into deadly traps. Your village is merely a prize for anyone with a sword, and a handful of brutal, hungry, lawless men. Law itself doesn't exist, only the raw, brutal force. And then there is the Russian winter. It's more than just cold. It's a relentless force of nature testing you to your very limits. Snow drifts up to your neck, swallowing familiar pathways. Rivers freeze solid, trapping vital water and resources. Winds howl, cutting through your tattered clothes and skin. It returns year after year, a constant, brutal reminder. A reminder that life here is an unending, desperate struggle. Fields become hard as rock, impossible to cultivate or harvest. Game for hunting becomes scarce, retreating from the harshness. Simply surviving these months is, by itself, a major feat. As if internal chaos weren't enough, your neighbors sense weakness. Poles, Lithuanians, Swedes, they all cast greedy eyes. They march across your lands, pillaging your vulnerable cities. And yes, they even occupy sacred Moscow, your capital, the heart of Russia, in the hands of foreign invaders. You watch helplessly as your villages are sacked by foreign troops. Your culture trampled under the boots of unwelcome occupiers. Russia is a wounded prey, and you are just one of many, observing, powerless, the profound humiliation of your people. Your life, from birth to inevitable death, is a misery roller coaster. You could die of slow, agonizing starvation at any time, or be taken by a sudden, virulent, incurable disease, perhaps in some distant, forgotten battle for an unknown czar, or even by a bandit's blade in a dark, unforgiving forest. There are no grand monuments erected in your honor. No stories of your heroic deeds will ever be recounted. Just another anonymous grave in this vast, frozen land. And ironically, the only advantage of all this suffering? Your life is so ephemeral, so deeply painful that death. Often it's seen as a welcome, merciful, final relief. So, there you have it. That was your life. Your trajectory, my dear invisible viewer. A brief, brutal, and relentless chapter in the history of a people who, against all odds, somehow, miraculously managed to endure and resist. And to think, you only wanted some warm bread, a day without fear, and perhaps just a little sun. How fortunate you are to have been born centuries later. So what did you think of our brutal journey? Through the Russia of Ivan the Terrible and the tumultuous time of troubles? Which part of this grim history shocked you most, or made you appreciate your current comforts even more? Tell us in the comments below. Your insights are incredibly important for our channel. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel to catch our next historical explorations. And activate the bell to be notified when a new cauldron of historical woes goes live. Until next time.